Hello everyone, TrackIR here bringing you a new updated video for my F-5 tutorial series. This video is going to focus on multiplayer and what I do specifically to help me gain the edge in a PvP environment. There are many ways to teach technique, this is the way that I do it. If you have a different way and it works for you, then that's just great. In this video we're going to discuss the importance of wingmen, communication, countermeasures, the RWR, centerline tank jettison, missile uncage, the dogfight AF function, and what to do when you take a missile and survive. Some of these I've already covered in previous videos, but we're going to go a little more in depth here. These are some of the most asked questions I get while streaming. I'd like to start the video out by discussing the importance of wingmen. While streaming, I fly with some very talented players, but we work best together when we work as a unit. Flying the F-5 online, we don't have the fancy radar, weapons, or data link, so we gotta rely on our Mark 1 eyeballs and clear communication to gain the advantage while taking on superior aircraft. With wingmen, we can all be scanning different parts of the sky, as well be calling out missile shots that other players may have not seen in the formation. If I go defensive from a missile, the other wingman can press the enemy and help defeat him while he is focused on killing me. Here's just a quick example of what I'm talking about. He's getting close, Chris. He's at your 1 o'clock close.
I don't have him.
He just foxed. He's foxed.
Got him. He's foxed.
It's on you guys. So just going over the video, we discussed where the bandit was, laterally, and how close he was when he foxed. The two wingmen split, and I pursued.
Defensive.
Times 2. I don't have
two, Fox 2.
Okay, I got him now.
That's a splash, he's dead. Which brings me to my next topic, communication. While communicating to your team, you want to be clear, calm, and concise. My greatest pet peeve is when people jam up their radio communications with empty garbage. What I mean by empty garbage is by saying things like, missile launch. Someone is over here. Do you see that guy? Hey, I'm foxing on this guy. So how can you make these callouts better? Say things with more information to give your wingman a better picture of what you see. Remember, our minds are not linked. Some examples would be missile launch, 11 o'clock high. This gives your wingman an alert, what the threat is, location laterally, as well as the height of what's happening. Another example would be bogey, 12 o'clock, medium. This gives your wingman an alert to the threat, location laterally, and altitude to scan for the hostile. Sometimes you may get split up while you're merged with another hostile, so remember, it's important to talk to your wingman and give an accurate description of where you're at so they can assist you. An example would be TrackIR merged a few miles south of Kashab, on the deck, offensive or defensive. This gives my wingman a location to look, altitude, as well as my position on or off the bandit. Clear communication is key. I got missile launches at 11 o'clock high, 11 o'clock high. They're not on us, but I see, must be M rings. So in this example, I see missile launches 11 o'clock high. I alert the flight, and they start looking 11 o'clock high for missile launches, and I let them know that they are not on us. Also, please excuse the music. It was requested by Kami1. I'd watch out for 15. I think we should disengage here.
Alright, Roger.
18 nails close, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we got a 15 at our 11 high.
I see the foxes.
And just continuing, Moose acknowledges he sees the foxes, so he continues to disengage, and we survive. Next, we're going to talk about the countermeasures and the RWR. You can bring up the kneeboard with the right shift K or kilo key, or click on the map case like I just did. You can see it brings up the chaff flare count. You can change these with the right shift, right alt, 3 through 8 keys. I usually leave it on default, but I'm just here demonstrating that you can go through and change these. So right now I put in a flare burst count of 8 with a flare burst interval of 3. If I want this to happen when I press the dispense button, I need to have the flare countermeasure switch into the program position. Just remember, you can only change these before the first engine start, and you can't change them after you start an engine. So remember, after you start engines, go ahead and put them into the single position. That's usually the way I fly it. But if I want to use the program like I programmed earlier with the flare, I would put the flare into the program position. Just remember, we only have 30 chaff and 15 flare, so be mindful of your flares. That's why I like to use the single flare. This is an example of the flare program that we just programmed. Next, we're going to talk about the radar warning receiver. We want to make sure we have it powered on and we have the search function key enabled. You'll see a little S above the search. Many times I see people just fly around with the search function off, so they're actually flying in the lock mode, so they're not going to receive any RWR threats unless they are locked up. So right now we're in the search function. We have a Mirage nails that are 12 o'clock close. What I'm going to try to do is simulate what's going to happen online. So here you can see the Mirage nails disappeared. But if I unclick the search button, which I have bound to my HOTAS, you can see we have a diamond with a circle around it. This means that the Mirage 2000 has you radar locked, and he's prepared to fire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the search function, and you can see that he disappeared. Now I have on the lock function, and he's there. So now I'm simulating I'm flying around in the search mode, like there's nobody around me. I get a missile launch warning. That's a missile launch warning. So I'm looking for the missile launch, but if I click the search function button to go to the lock mode, you could see that there's a flashing circle with a diamond from the Mirage. That means he fired a missile at you. So now we're going to get in and talk about the center tank jettison. What I do is I remove the cover for the emergency jettison switch. And if I become merged, I'll go ahead and press it. It's on my HOTAS, and that jettisons the center tank. Now let's say you're just flying along and your center tank becomes empty. What we can do is we can go to select jettison, all pylons, turn on the center tank, press and hold the red button, make sure you put the select jettison switch back to the neutral position, and you can see here that our center tank jettison along with the center pylon. So now I'm going to get into the missile uncage button. This is going to be a typical scenario. This is going to simulate what I usually see online. People will get behind, they get a tone, they fire a missile, and it misses behind them, and then they wonder why and what's happening. So here I am simulating, I'm behind the aircraft, I fire a missile, it's way too close, but also I didn't lead the target, so the missile has to do a crazy G maneuver to try to hit the target. And as you can see, we miss here. So now we're going to talk about the missile uncage button. I'm going to simulate that here now. What I'm going to do is press and hold the missile uncage button, so make sure you have that bound to your HOTAS. I'm going to lead my target while holding the missile uncage button, and when I have a proper lead angle and when I think I'm in range, I'm going to fox the missile while holding the missile uncage button. After the missile leaves the rail, I can go then and release the missile uncage button. So here I am leading the target, I'm holding the missile uncage button, I'm leading the target, I fox the missile, and we have a good connection on the target. And as you can see here, the missile doesn't have to do a crazy G maneuver, it leads straight into the target, and we get a successful splash. Next thing I want to talk about is the dogfight AF mode. This is my favorite mode to use because you're using guns on your target. What I do here is tell you exactly what I'm doing. My radar is off and I'm on the 6 of his F-18. I don't want to alert him that I'm there, so I'm going to leave my radar off until the last second that I know that I can have a confirmed guns kill. So right here, I know I have a good shot to kill this bandit, so I put on my radar. I used the dogfight AF mode, and as you can see, the ranging came on the Pipper. Pipper tick mark on the top right tells me that I'm in range, so all I need to do is place the Pipper on the aircraft itself and fire the guns. Flash 18.
Nice, good kill.
Guns.
Nice job. Come around, baby.
Pushing toward you guys.
On a 6.
Take him, take him.
So just like in the last video, this is at the moment I turn on my radar, and I turn on the dogfight AF mode to lock up this A-10.
I tried to hit him straight head on with guns. He's too high aspect. I'm right behind you.
Here we go, baby.
Nice.
So I couldn't find any footage of me getting shot with a fuel leak. I know I have some out there, but I just couldn't find any. I wanted to get this video out, but let's say you just took a missile. First thing you want to do is look at your fuel gauge, because you're most likely going to have a fuel leak. Probably from both wings, but if it's only one wing, and let's say your left tank is going down, what you want to do is turn on the crossfeed. This is going to open up the crossfeed valve, and now fuel will be fed from the right tank to both engines. And what this is going to do is prevent an engine flame out from one of your engines when the left or right tank goes empty. So obviously you want to make it back to the base, but you want to pay attention to your fuel after you get a shot. So make sure you check your crossfeed valve is on. This is going to wrap up my F-5 multiplayer tutorial series. Let me know if you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns, and I'll go ahead and try to address those. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, because I enjoyed putting it together. Happy hunting.
He just launched on somebody. I got tone.
It's a 15, dude. F-15. Take it.
Fox 2.
That Fox 2 was bullets.
God bless.
Oh, alright, he's dead. Did you shoot?